Welcome to the Digital Maddie Show with your host and host, Digital Mitthyl. The show which is exclusively created for solopreneurs, coaches, artists, and whoever who wants to build their digital empire. With 15 plus years of business experience, I bring lots of topics related to personal branding, content creation, and business building. And I also invite lots of influencers, experts on this show who share the same passion of providing value for you. Today we have two amazing guests on our show. They are already into the studio. Let me introduce them. They are Shreya Banerjee and Paul Counts. So they are co-founders of Marketing Counts. They are serial entrepreneurs, tech startup founders, and advisors to the influencers. They are teachers at heart who have a passion for helping entrepreneurs and students alike grasp proven marketing concepts. They created a marketing curriculum that was in over 140 high schools and have taught marketing to numerous colleges throughout the country. Their client list includes a who of the personal development and the influencer world, and their marketing can be seen a display with Fortune 50 companies and publicly traded organizations. They bring a process-based approach to marketing streaming from Shreya Banerjee's Six Sigma Black Belt experience. I am super excited to take their interview, so let's welcome them.
You are listening to the Digital Maddie Show with Digital Mitthyl.
So welcome on the show, none other than Shreya and Paul. So I am super excited to have them on the episode. So thank you so much to both of you for accepting the invitation and jumping on to this podcast interview with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're excited. Thank you. Thrilled to be here. Yeah.
Awesome. So, this is for the first time that I have two guests, jumping in and having an introduction and, an interaction with them. So usually when I ask this question, it's only a one person who's answering it. But now today we'll have two people. So individually, I would love to know each of your backstories and how the great minds came together and build an amazing foundation. So the mic is all yours.
Yeah, so I'll get started. My name is Shreya Banerjee. Now, I don't have a traditional marketing background. We own a digital marketing agency. So you might say, Shreya, what are you doing in a digital marketing agency? I did, back in the day, I did mechanical engineering. I think every person of our origin kind of agrees, right? Doctor, engineers, so something that you have to do. So that's what we did. I graduated, had an awesome career, loved it. But the back of the head always was in the marketing piece. Like even in college, I used to dabble into it a little bit, and I used to run like PPC ads. And back then it was easy. So it, made some money, awesome. But family said, go get a job. And that's what's expected out of everybody. So did exactly that. Had a good career. It's not bad. I loved it. I love what I was doing. But my son, who was born, now I kept saying 5 years because that was my story when I started, but now he's going to be 7 this year. And when he was born, it's that struggle I think all like females at least go through, like to go back to work and manage that work-life balance, right? And I did. I went back to work and kind of struggled with that a little bit and said, hey, let's get back to the internet lifestyle, because I enjoyed that, but having that freedom of being able to work anywhere. So I got back in about 5 years ago into this internet marketing thing. Met Paul about 4 years ago. So it's a recent partnership. And so kind of got back into the rhythm of marketing. And my background is more processes. So I did mechanical engineering, and then I transferred into like manufacturing. I used to work with plane engines on the floor, and then setting up the processes for getting, plane parts out of the way so it won't go to Boeing to make the plane so people can start flying, right? My job was to go and make sure that the parts were on time or the processes were set in place, that everything got good. So I'm actually a certified Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. I focus a lot on processes. So now what I do is, instead of focusing on plane parts, I focus on marketing processes. And how do we lean out the marketing process? And that's why Paul and I work so well, because Paul, he's going to tell you his background, has a lot of marketing depth knowledge, but I bring the process piece into this entire organization. So Paul, with that, I'll let you introduce yourself. All right.
No, great intro, Shreya. Yeah. So really where I come from, 23 years in marketing, over 23 years now. And I started at 13. So I grew up in a town of 300 people, very small town. I would run dial-up internet back to my computer in my house just so I could do marketing online, like start to learn, start to do it. I started selling t-shirts for a local company, and the owner of the company, I could not send picture proofs to them because we were using Hotmail way back when. And so long and short of it was, I was doing mass emails back at 13, learning some basic, website HTML. They finally got a website at this company after I kept saying, you need your own domain so I can actually send picture proofs. And next thing you know, the owner came to me and said, hey, you want the website, you learn how to market it. So that's when I started to learn and dive in. I had somebody pour into me a little bit. Then I started to learn backlinking and SEO and all that kind of stuff. And really the rest is history. I've been on a trajectory where, launched a lot of successful courses and programs and have, platinum seller at ClickBank and premium seller over at JVZoo and a lot of digital marketing platforms, that sell courses. So became a top vendor over there. Actually took a couple years or a year and a half or so, not doing full-time business. I produced a feature film in the middle of all that and have been very busy on the marketing journey. And then Shreya and I met 4 years ago, she mentioned, and really I was looking for somebody that could help because I was always a solopreneur thinking I could do it myself. I mean, I had business partners, but I was like, I need somebody in my business that understands processes and can take it to the next level. Insert, Shreya. And then we've been on this trajectory with Marketing Counts for over almost 4 years now. And it's been amazing. And we now have curriculum in 140 high schools, teaching marketing to high school kids. We've taught to colleges. So we also have the marketing agency, and we work with a lot of influencers and many motivational speakers that many of you listening would probably know. So we're kind of behind the scenes, pulling the strings, doing the marketing, pushing them out there. So we're just really blessed and enjoying this journey, and it's really been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's almost we've made that transition because of the processes. Like we use we call it our FTE process, and it's what we teach. And that's part of the reason why it applies to everything. Like we're in so many different industries because we learn from the internet marketing, like the make money type. And then we kind of transitioned when we created Marketing Counts, we kind of transitioned into, I call it the real world versus the digital world, right? So now we help clients, we help ourselves, we do it for ourselves as well. But we use that foundation letter, FTE, which we're going to talk about today, but I just want to throw it out there, FTE, to kind of go into any business. Doesn't matter if you're doing it digitally or if you're doing it in the real world, or right. If you use those letters, if you're using those principles, it doesn't matter which industry, you're going to succeed.
Yeah, it's so true. It's very, very powerful. But yeah, we're looking forward to sharing more about FTE here shortly.
Great. Awesome. So first of all, thank you for sharing your backstory, both of you individually, and then, trying to merge how together as this partnership built in, and it's now helping lots of universities, schools, colleges. So super cool. So before I go ahead and, ask a couple of questions, there's a book that I am reading, and based on your backstory, it just, hit me in my mind. The book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it rightly says that if I divide system and process and marketing is all about actions, and actions is all about habits, and habits can be formed with a system and a process. So I think great minds, both of you coming together, it's a living example of that book. And I'm sure that it will create lots of ripple effect to lots of people who will come in, in your aura. So it's like, having a Midas touch. Super awesome.
Thank you. That's
I've
great.
read that book, and it's an amazing book. I'm glad you brought it up. But it talks about that continuous improvement piece, right? For yourself. It's a personal journey. Right. One thing at a time. But that concept applies everywhere. Like I did that same concept in the manufacturing field. Now I'm doing it in marketing. But that one talks about your personal journey. If you apply that, it's an amazing, powerful book. If anybody hasn't read it, you should, because it can take you places, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And since Shreya, you are also from the Six Sigma background, so the early corporate, years of my life, I had also been a Six Sigma black belt champion, and I'm known that, how those important features can help us in increasing the productivity and minimizes a lot of distraction and many other things. So kudos, system and process are vital in every field of business.
Exactly. It's, when people design something and they design it on nature, so like the trees and the leaves, and you're like, oh yeah, that's how everything, birds, planes, they're kind of, I feel like that's how lean is. Even though it was done with manufacturing, but then you apply it to Atomic Habits when you're applying it to yourself. If you read the book Lean Startup, it's applying to a startup. You're starting up your business. So I like reading those type of books because the concept's the same, but it applies to so many different things. It's common sense at the end of the day, but common sense is not very common.
In common people.
Right. But it's just common sense, and it's just putting it in that word so that people can understand it.
Absolutely. So I could, during your individual intros, I could hear like the word which is right now in the market is NFT. So I could hear you were saying more of FTE. So can you explain why the letters FTE will literally transform a business or an organization? I am curious to know about it.
They're right. Okay, so FTE stands for foundation, T stands for traffic, and E stands for engagement. And normally when it's taught at schools, everybody teaches T first, traffic. So whether you have it or not, just learn how to drive traffic to it. Learn a social media platform, learn, ads, learn something, drive traffic. That works great for big corporations that have a lot of money to spend on ads, right? Doesn't matter if the page is converting. Doesn't matter if you have a place to send them. You're just growing your following on Instagram, right? Because you can. And it's easy, it might be hard, I don't know. It's up to you. But everybody focus on traffic. What we do is we kind of flip that around and say, no, focus on your foundation first. And when we talk about foundation, it's your business foundation. So do you have a website? Do you have a lead capture page? Do you have some way of capturing your customers' information so that you can follow up with them? If you don't have that and you're driving traffic or you're building your traffic source, what good is that traffic? Right? Like you're going to get frustrated and say it doesn't work. So that we focus on the foundation piece for the organization very much. Then we focus on the traffic piece coming in. And lastly, the engagement of what social media is. It's an engagement platform. So how are you engaging with your customers, right?
Yeah, that's a really good overview of it. And we find constantly businesses are making that mistake where it's that traffic first mentality. And we can't reiterate that enough. If you have a traffic first mentality, you're setting yourself up for failure on digital marketing, because what are you sending the traffic to? And everybody forgets that for whatever reason, And so we really encourage people during the foundation stage to focus on lead generation, on setting up your opt-in form. Make sure that traffic is, as we like to say, make sure that traffic counts, right? Because if you're going to send traffic to a page, that page better convert into leads or sales. Otherwise, you're wasting your money, you're wasting your advertising dollars. And so, the other approach we really look at is the kind of the bare minimum to look at when you're looking at a solid foundation for business is, what does it look like above the fold? Does your message resonate with your audience? And a lot of small business owners, a lot of digital marketers, the biggest mistake they make is they just put up whatever words without thinking very much about it. Because to them, just getting a website up is the least of their worries. The most important thing is they want to start driving traffic. They want to get on social media and start driving traffic, But that's a great mentality, but it's not going to work, So you want to get in the mentality of, what does it look like above the fold? So that means look at your website, on your phone. What does it look like when you initially land on a website, on your phone, on your computer? Look at it both. What do people see? A lot of businesses, they do stuff like, welcome to my website. Well, that's not exciting. You have like 2 seconds to hook their attention in this day and age. People are distracted and they will bounce. So you need to know, who is your customer profile? Who are you trying to reach? Your ICP, right? Your customer avatar, whichever one you refer to it as. But who is your customer avatar? Who is the person that you are writing your message to? And in the first paragraph or first opening headline, you should speak to that with benefits, not features. A lot of people get that confused too when they're talking foundation. And we're not going to go on a tangent on copywriting, but that's just a couple bullet points, like, focus on your benefits right out of the gate, because you can do your features later, but people don't care that you're selling a a 45-minute video course. They don't care about that. What they care about is, what is that 45-minute video course going to do for them? What is the benefit to them? So you need to speak to that in your foundation. And those are just a couple. There's a lot of other elements with foundation, but once you get that set, then we have our clients shift to traffic. And that's why we work with publicly traded companies. We work with Fortune 50 companies. We work with some of the biggest influencers. And the part I love about our partnership is that Shreya brings that process. It's this FTE. And the final part that Shreya was referencing was the engagement, which, you know, we're very big on, because the money is in the follow-up, as was already referenced. That is, we can't drive that home enough. The money is in the follow-up. It's a lot of our clients, when we get to them, or even they fight us on this constantly, where it's like, they want to do the T. That's all they want to focus on is the traffic. They want the T, you know, like, I'm just going to send traffic, you know, and they don't care about the foundation. To them, that you're not doing your job if you're worried about the foundation. To them, you're not doing your job if you're working on engagement. You're not getting them new people. But the reality is, the foundation and the engagement are the two most important parts to make you money. The traffic is actually the least important part, which I know a lot of people listening just went, but it's the truth.
What good is 20,000 people, even if I bring them to you, if you can't even close one? What good?
Right. Yeah. That's a
we have
great
students fight us back on this too, because it's the generation of like, I have a TikTok following. Why do I need to capture that information from and build it for myself? Why do I need an email list? Right? I have them on Instagram. Instagram going to shut you down any day. What are you going to do?
Right. That's the thing. We've been, I mean, like I referenced 23 years. Shreya has been marketing for over 11 years. We've seen every platform under the sun come and go, you know, it's constant. But the one constant that we like to teach people is, you know, what happens there is that there is one constant, and that is they all ask for your email. Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, every major retailer, they ask for one most important one most important piece of data is your email. And that's because that's one of the most critical pieces they can capture on you.
That's true. I'm going to say one more point. I'm sorry. But I feel like whenever people come online, you know, we talked about common sense a little bit earlier, they lose that. Like, they see it structure in the real world, right? If you go to a store these days, they ask for your phone number. Like, anywhere here in India, like I was there a few months ago, they want to send you the receipt. They want your phone number. They want your email. They want so the real world stores are capturing that information. But then you come online all of a sudden and you're like, I don't need that. Why? Why is there a disconnect? It's the same thing, right? Common sense is not.
If I can throw some light on that, but yes, I truly agree with both of you what you said, and now I understand why Shreya was emphasizing more on common sense, because yes, that's the thing that goes out the very first time you enter into the digital world. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, I think the perception is that, you know, that people in the physical world, they know that the customer will come and they will go. So, but when it comes to the digital, it's like, I can see that as a follower on my Instagram, it's there. So it's that, you know, the perception that they have. But yes, absolutely. You need to have the common sense and you have to take it further and bang on that. Yes, traffic is crucial, but foundation is what matters a lot. It's like, you know, back to basics.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. And that traffic on Instagram is there, but if you relate it, it's still on a highway or like on a road. It's not in your store. You have to bring them to your store somehow through your, like, you know, getting them on phone number or getting their email address. Like, they're not inside your store. They're just going outside, walking around, right?
Bang on. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Cool. So based on the emphasis about the foundation and the traffic, and like, you know, the main thing is engagement after that, but that comes everything after traffic and foundation. But I have seen one thing, and I would like to ask this to both of you, is that why businesses market themselves like they are, you know, marketing hobbies instead of real business, and how are businesses holding themselves, you know, back from the true success that they have?
It's I think it's a bit of a fear, and again, it's taught. Mainstream teaches focus on traffic. Mainstream teaches you that. So I don't think people know. Like, once we show them, once they start seeing results, like our clients in our club, our marketing clients club, and like the students, once they start seeing it, they go, oh, this makes sense, right? You could tell somebody to do something. You could show them, if you do this and then you do this and then this, and they're like, oh, okay. But out in the market, that's not the perception. So people do what they see around. And that's part of the reason we're so passionate about teaching in colleges and high school, is when we came from the digital marketing world to the real world, we realized that there's a lot of that misinformation out there, that, you know, people would hire, like majority of our clients that when we were getting initially were, oh, I had hired this person and I didn't get the result. I hired this person and I've lost my money. I don't have any money because I've hired somebody and I didn't get the results. It's because they're focused on the wrong thing or focused on the teeny tiny things. So we said, okay, we need to like nip this in the start. So we went all the way back to high school and said, okay, let's start teaching these concepts. Let's start making this the mainstream, because you need to focus on your foundation as a business before you focus on traffic and an engagement.
Right. I mean, it's hard to say much different than that. I mean, it really comes down to, you've got to, if you're going to build a house, you know, like we teach that concept. We also, you know, teach FTE in like the form of building a house, right? Your foundation has to be solid or your house is going to fall down eventually. So you have to build it on solid ground. You have to build a solid foundation. And that's why businesses, like, that's why in that question you asked, it is like they're building a hobby, you know, because if you're just going to go out there and just throw up any page without thinking about it and then try to drive traffic to it from, you know, Instagram or a social media site, you're literally losing out on the potential of having a full-time business. The reason that FTE works is that it puts your business on a path to success 20 years from now so that you can still be in business. If you go with just a traffic mindset, you're only going to be in business as long as that little social media platform is that you're building. And so as part of our traffic, we teach diversification too. Like we're the last people to teach you social media marketing, which makes the high school kids upset because they think that's where all the money's at. That is not, if we relied on social media marketing, we would not eat. And it's a fact, nor would our clients. And so what we do, we make a joke about this, but we do a lot of times, we do the social media to keep the clients happy so that they see the posts that are going up, but we're doing the behind the scenes stuff like email, running Google ads, running Facebook ads, running the YouTube videos, all the not so flashy things we're doing behind the scenes, because that's what really drives the results. And then social media is there as an engagement tool to draw your customers in. It's not saying social media is bad. We're not anti-social media. We're just saying social media has its place. And a lot of people start out with the traffic first mentality, which is very hobby. And then they take it a step further and their traffic source is Instagram and social media platforms. Like that's it. And then they're like, well, I did my social media post for the week. I'm done. Why is my traffic not flowing in? Or if they get that traffic, you have to ask yourself, like one of the things we always like to get people to ask themselves this: if you're looking for something particular to buy, where do you go? And it's usually Google is the answer, or Bing. They go to a search engine and they type in, I want a Nikon, whatever, digital camera. That's what they're looking for. They don't go to Facebook or Instagram and say, you know what, I'm going to look for a Nikon camera today on Facebook to buy.
Let me scroll through all my feed and try to find an ad for a Nikon camera. Now,
right.
We're
Yeah.
going to be
scroll
targeted for a Nikon camera because we just talked about it. But
right. And, you know, and these retailers are smart though, because after you do that Google search, a lot of times people don't buy. But guess what? They're going to pop an ad up on social media to re-engage you. And that's smart marketing. Like that all makes sense. So we're not saying that marketing on social media is bad. We're just saying everything has a process. Everything has a system. And Shreya is really a master at teaching that. And that's, you know, why this FTE works so well.
It's that big picture. FTE gives you that big picture. If you take anything out of this, like get a piece of paper and pen or on your computer, on your phone, write the letter F, T, and E, and start filling it in, right? And bullet points, the tools you use, where does it fit in? Word, even a Word doc, where does it fit in? Or, you know, all the stuff that you use, all the ideas that you have, where does it fit in? That will give you the entire picture. A lot of times when you buy a course or do something, it gives you a teeny tiny microscopic view of how to do this. But on the overall picture, you're missing out. And that's why we say it's like you're treating it like a hobby, because you're only focusing on this. But you need, as a business owner, if you really are serious about it and it's not just a hobby, you need to see the overall big picture where your business is headed. And so it's so important to get that mapped out. And even if you're not good at doing something, now that you have a plan, you can hire that out and get somebody else to do it. But you're the mastermind behind it, right?
Absolutely. Wow. So two things I would like to add. One was a very beautiful metaphor for the FTP that you used, the house. So yes, foundation is crucial for the house. Traffic can be the footfall, which is basically your porch, and the living room can be your engagement. So in order to reach to an engagement,
smart. Yeah, that's smart. We say so the foundation is obviously the foundation, the house itself, like the traffic, but then the outside, like the trees and the plants and stuff, it's nice to have but not needed, is the engagement piece, right?
Absolutely. And a couple of years back, I was attending an SEO conference, and the founder of the Moz, he said that the traffic from the social media is only 4 to 5%, but around 80% of the people's focus is only social media. So they lose out a lot of opportunity from actually getting the traffic, the organic traffic from many other platforms. And while you were saying that, all those things started popping up. So I am enjoying this particular conversation. Yeah. I'm loving it.
Oh, awesome. That's so great.
I'm enjoying it too.
Yeah, I love Moz. Those guys know what they're doing there. That's awesome content. Absolutely. Yeah, and they're very accurate. I'm glad you shared that stat, because SEO traffic it's where the money is made. It's where people do it, and everybody. Intent. Yeah,
right? It's where buyer intent is. Yeah,
love that.
Awesome. So, Paul, you said something about traffic mindset, and I'll just remove the traffic and I'll just focus on the mindset over here right now, because whether you are a social influencer, entrepreneur, solopreneur, startup, or a brand, when it comes to mindset, so how can your mindset influence your marketing for the better?
Yeah, so really your mindset is so critical to digital marketing, because we all know that there's a good conversion rate for, let's say just a opt-in page. It's going to be, if you're doing really good, 40% or so. So that means 60% of the people leave. That means you're going to, quote, fail 60% of the time, right? 60% of the people won't opt in. And it's even worse when you're doing sales, right? A really good sales letter is going to be 5%. Now that blows a lot of our corporate clients away, because the corporate clients have a traffic first mentality. So they're actually used to seeing 0.01% conversions, being happy with that, because they don't work on a foundation as much. Now, the thing is that no matter what in these numbers, you never heard me say 100% success rate. And people in marketing, our clients, it feels like it's a constant battle. People literally have this mindset that if I do one thing, like one social media post, one ad, one, SEO tweak on my website, that it's going to transform my business. But the reality is you have to do a lot of changes, a lot of tweaks. And you also have to have the understanding that you are going to not get the result you wanted the majority of the time. Like, that's just marketing. And we have a really good mindset, Shreya and I, and we've had to have that, because we see a lot of people get into business and they walk away after a very short time, or they get stressed out, or they get angry about whatever results they're seeing, because their mentality is, well, this should be 100% effective. I don't understand, blah, 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 blah. That's not the real world. Like, digital marketing is not, it's just like the real world. It's not rosy out there. Like, you're going to have ups and downs. You have the people that succeed are the ones that stick with it, and they have a plan and they have a process in place, which brings us right back to the why we have a process and why we instill that in our clients. And the clients that get it, it really has amazing results. The clients that don't want to accept it, the results aren't the best. You have to have that FTE process in place. You have to have that mentality, or you're not going to see the results. It's all in the mindset, because you will fail most of the time. And it's not to make people feel bad. It's a reality of digital marketing. We're bringing the truth to digital marketing. The truth is, it's not going to be 100% effective every time you throw out an ad.
Exactly. I want to add a couple of things to that. When people treat it like a hobby, they say, okay, today I'm up. Let's see, what else can I do? Can I do this? You're taking one thing at a time. As much great and amazing that sounds, if you have a bad day, you're down and out for the day or for a week. You just want to take, but if you have an entire plan, you've written your FTE stuff down, you've written what things you're going to do to get there. So even one small setback is not going to, get you off track. You're going to say, okay, what's my next task? This one didn't work out, but what's my next task? What do I need to do? You just got to keep doing it. And I'll tell you this, every time we have either failed on something or like backed out of a deal or, said something, we somehow, because we keep going, right? I'm not saying this will happen to you. It comes back tenfold, because we do 10 times better, because we just keep going and something clicks and it works.
That's a great point. Yeah, it is. It does seem to always come back. It's that mindset is so important for anything, and digital marketing is no different. You got to go into it with the right mindset and have a positive outlook and understand that you're going to have some downs, but then the ups will more than pay for it. So.
Absolutely, Paul. So the ups and downs in the ECG tells you that you're alive, and that's the business all about. It needs to be alive. And,
yes.
Rightly said, with respect to mindset, the brand father of advertising and marketing, Ogilvy, also says the same thing, that mindset plays a very vital role. So I am super enjoying it. And I think, Shreya, the reason things come tenfold back is because now I realize and understand that FTE doesn't have a plan A. It has a plan B, plan C, plan D. So there are 26 alphabets. So if this doesn't work, that will work that.
Exactly. It's continuous improvement. It's small things. You're constantly working on it. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket.
So first of all, let's have a high five for FTE. It's an amazing concept, and thank you for introducing it. That's a high five. Super. So we come to the end of the phase one of this conversation. So now let's bring a little fun element into it. So what I do is every time I have a rapid fire round where I'll be asking 5 questions, and without thinking much, whatever the thing comes in your mind, of course, keeping censorship also, but yes, whatever thing comes in your mind, you need to just bring a fun into it. So
okay.
Are we ready?
Yes, we're ready. So
I'll answer first. I'm going to answer second.
Oh, I'm going to answer first? Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Chicks, put the pressure on me there. All right, let's do it.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do is, okay, I'll ask one question. Each of them can answer back and forth.
Okay.
All right. So very first question. So Paul, first to you. Who is your favorite cartoon character and why?
Oh, Mickey Mouse, because he's just, brilliant.
He's the foundation of advertisement.
Yeah, he is. He's the foundation of everything. Yeah, he's just genius, and it's fun and entertaining. Yeah.
Shreya, what about you?
Simba, because anything Disney, but Simba, I mean, that was my first favorite Disney movie. So.
That means Lion King, right? Simba means.
Yes, Lion King.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
My mom.
Yes. Means no worries.
Absolutely.
FTE also means no worries.
Super cool. So Paul, now this will make things a little interesting, and I'm sure someone from LA may hear it and make a project completely on Hollywood. So if a movie was made on your life, what genre would it be, and who would play you?
Oh man, if a movie was made about my life, it would be the genre would be motivational. It'd be a motivational type movie. So it'd be small town kid makes it big with a lot of grit and perseverance and hustle. And gosh, who would play me? I would have to say, I don't know.
We are not bringing Forrest Gump. We are not bringing Forrest Gump. So it's not Tom Hanks.
not Tom Hanks. I think not that I'm a big fan of him as an actor, but I've had I don't know if I really even look like him, but a young Tom Cruise might work. I don't know. Young Tom Cruise could play me. Not the older one. The
I can see a Top Gun coming out.
Yeah.
Shreya, what about you?
I would say comedy. I just enjoy comedy movies. Life's little incident or things that just go wrong. Not that I'm saying that it goes wrong in my life, but I just enjoy watching comedy. Whenever I watch TV or movies, I like to watch things to get away from reality. So comedy. And since we are casting our own role, I'm saying I don't look like her at all. But I would love Priyanka Chopra to play me.
Oh, picky chops.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, super cool, super cool. Okay, now what are we going to do is, I want Shreya to answer first and then with Paul. So Shreya, what is the one thing you would put on your bucket list in 2022?
Travel more for just fun. Not for work. We travel a lot for work, but just for fun and vacations, just travel.
Okay, now when it comes to questions, let's follow something called as SMART goals. So let's be specific. When you want to travel where?
I'm gonna go to Hawaii.
Hashtag Hawaii, we are coming. Okay, Paul, how about you?
For us, launch our book this year. We're doing our book launch, but that's a big thing on our list this year to get done. Launch the book. Now, are you saying for our entire bucket list? Because we've already done the authoring. So if you're saying for a bucket list that I've had, I would say hit a Disney theme park outside of the U.S. A Disney theme park outside of the U.S. That would be awesome.
Awesome.
I'm glad you said that, because I was like, I feel so selfish. Because here I was like, travel, and he was like, well, we're gonna work on our business.
Yeah, I changed it.
Cool. Awesome. So, okay, now again we'll go to Shreya. So, Shreya, who do you admire the most?
My dad. He's still there. He lives in North Carolina, and the things he does, like, he's just a quiet person, just puts his head down and just gets it going. He grew up in a village in India, grew up with lots of, it was a big family, came out, studied engineering, got a good job there, came here. We came to US 2007. Yes. No, 1997. I'm sorry. Like missing a whole decade there. 1997, that's when we came here. And we've been here for a while now, but like, he brought the entire family, right? Like, all of us, I have a brother, my mom, we all live here now. I live in Michigan, they live in North Carolina, but the things that he's accomplished, even if I go back to the village now and I see, people where he went to college, they didn't have light back then. They used to study with, lamps and stuff. The stuff that he's overcome, it's amazing.
Paul, can you hear the Oscar speech?
Yeah, I can hear it now. I know, that's what I'm saying. She could do this. It's incredible.
Absolutely. And Shreya, I think by the answer that you gave, definitely now I think Priyanka Chopra will accept it, because it's daddy's little girl.
Yeah, I think so. And I can help produce it. So there you go. You're all set.
Perfect. We have an award-winning producer. So Paul is an award-winning producer, just so you know. I don't think
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So Paul, who do you admire the most?
I've got a large list, right. There's somebody recently in my life that I've really grown to admire, just the way he handles things. I got a good friend of mine named Spencer. Actually, Shreya knows him too, but like, he's a guy that is one of the most humble individuals I've ever seen, and one of the most selfless leaders in their organization. I mean, the organization he's a part of has gone literally from $700,000 to $50 million in growth in like just a couple years. And he is one of those people that he didn't think he was ready for a certain role. So he selflessly said, nope, I'm not ready for that larger role. But he set himself up for huge success later in the future. And he's anybody that you talk to him that works with him, because we work with a lot of people on his team, and they constantly are just like, he's one of the greatest, kindest souls, the greatest leaders they know. And being a selfless leader, a servant leader, that I admire a lot. Like, there's a lot of people, I admire, and I could have said my parents, but Shreya already went there. So I was like, all right, I got to think of something different. But that right there, like, more recent in the last couple of years, I really realized to grow even more. He's a good friend of mine, but even more respect, like, he's a selfless leader, and it's a very admirable trait.
So shout out to him also.
Yeah, shout out to him.
Cool. So Paul, this is a question to you and then to Shreya. So who is, and I want lots of emotion into it, because again, FT is also a lot about emotions. So who is your favorite superhero and why?
Oh, this for me first?
Yeah,
All
first to Paul and then to Shreya.
Captain America seems to, not worry about anything. He doesn't seem to worry about anything. He is a fighter. He, always has an answer. He's a leader, he's a great leader, and he's got an amazing shield. Like, that seems to be, I liken the shield to a lot of myself, in the sense of, like, you have to be able to shield yourself from the crap of life, the drama that hits you and all that stuff, because it does happen, like just like traffic, just like life in general, there's ups and downs. So I admire that, I admire the shield, I admire, his strength.
Wow. So we have to go to Wakanda for more vibranium.
Yes.
Awesome.
I like it.
So Shreya, over to you. Who's your favorite superhero and why?
So I'm also a Marvel fan, and I would say Iron Man classic, just because he's goofy, he's fun, he's rich. Not from that point, but like the inventions he comes up with, he's always looking for the next thing. He's always looking for but he's loyal to his people, So I just admire that. I wouldn't mind to having some of these toys. They look really fun. I want an Iron Man car.
Which car? There were so many in his garage.
I know. The Audi, isn't it the Audi R8?
No, the i8, the
i8.
BMW i8, right?
BMW i8. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, well, one of them would be amazing.
Wow. So now I think now I can understand the chemistry, because yes, we have Captain America and Iron Man.
Oh, that's true. We never thought about it that way. We've never been asked this question, so we've never discussed this. Wow.
Wow, super cool. So first of all, thank you to both of you for participating in this with full heart and giving amazing answers. Loved it. I hope you also enjoyed, both of you.
Oh,
this was fun. This is one of the most entertaining podcasts we've done. I really appreciate you making it fun and just having us on. This was a great time.
So shout out to me.
Yes, shout out to you. Shout out to you. This is a great show. People need to subscribe and listen. You've done a great job.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. So all the people who are listening to this particular episode, so if they have to connect with both of you, how can they do it?
Yeah, so the easiest way is just go to marketingcounts.com. We have access to everything we have there. And then we also have a gift for the listeners. It's 26 email marketing tips if they want to learn those. And that's just found at marketingcounts.com/email. So they could just do that, marketingcounts.com/email, and they can download that guide. It's an A to Z guide to email marketing. Every letter has a tip. So it teaches you A to Z email marketing, 26 tips.
Can we tell them about how you used your email list? So Paul's a big believer in email. So am I. So we, as a team, we're a big believer in, but Paul has taken it to another level of email marketing, right? Your early days of
the
camp.
Yeah, the early days. Oh, church camp. Oh, you're adding in the fun element here. Oh yeah. Back when I was a kid at church, I went to church. I went to summer camp, church camp, and I met quite a few girls at camp when I was in junior high. And so I ended up getting about 12 email addresses, and I would send out bulk emails to them, but I would insert different names. So I joke that before I was doing email marketing at 13, I was already starting at 12 from church camp. So it worked really well until
anything.
You what? Yeah, it works in anything. It worked really well though until I inserted the wrong name into the wrong email, and then they figured it out.
I hope all the tagging was perfect.
Yeah, the what?
The tagging.
Yes, yeah.
If you're trying this, then I hope the tagging is perfect for you.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was learning back then and he messed up.
That was many years ago. Now, but yeah, no, back then, I'm glad you brought that up because it's proof it works in anything.
Awesome. So, okay, before we end this particular episode, I am in no mood in ending this, but yes, that's a process and we have process-oriented people in front of me right now. So before we end this particular episode, what would you like to share as a one message to all the listeners over here?
I always say this, like the key to succeed in anything, life, business, whatever it is to stay consistent. So yes, we told you about this amazing process. Yes, we, talked about fun stuff. But if you're not consistent, no matter how great your process is, it's going to fail. So just be consistent, do it. Even if you have to go to the gym for 5 minutes, just go do it. Even if you have to create a social media post, just do one. No matter how bad it is, right? Eventually, like atomic habits, it becomes a habit if you keep doing it enough time. And that's the key to anything in life, is to be consistent.
Yeah, couldn't say a different answer. Consistency counts, as we like to say. It really does. It makes all the difference in the world. And that's the only way to succeed with traffic online, with anything that you do, with business, with writing a book, it does not matter what your goal is. If you're not going to be consistent, you're not going to hit the target. And the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that successful people are more consistent than everybody else. It's not about talent. It's not about, strength. It's not about any of those things. It's about who's more consistent. And if you're more consistent and follow a process, you're going to have even greater success.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think Paul and Shreya, one most frequent asked question to me by all my students and my community member is how to become consistent. And going forward, my answer is going to be follow FTP. So when you follow FTE in the right way, I think if the foundation is right, eventually the habit will be done and you will get traffic and the engagement eventually. And this can be applied in every step of the life, not just on the digital front. I think it can be applied everywhere else too.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's such a powerful concept. And I think when businesses grasp it, it's like an aha moment for them. And that's the most important part. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Thank you to both of you. And first of all, since I'm also known as Digital Santa, because I love to give a lot of gift and like mind attracts. So thank you to both of you for offering a wonderful gift to all the listeners. So guys, if you believe in the quote by Steve Jobs, stay hungry, stay foolish, there is a link below. Grab this opportunity, grab this freebie, and connect with both amazing, great minds and try to learn the foundation traffic and the engagement principle in the right way by both of them. And I think build your transition in the right way with the new year. So I wish you all the best to both of you, and thank you so much for taking out time and giving an amazing value to all the listeners.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. It was tremendous. We had a great time. Thank you.
Awesome. So you have just listened to the Digital Maddie Show with your host and host, Digital Mitthyl. Thank you so much for giving so much love and support. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, subscribe to the button. And if you're listening to the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. This is Digital Mitthyl signing off at the moment with two amazing minds, and meet you again with another guest and their exciting story. But until then, keep rocking, stay safe, and keep creating.